President Craig will come up and update us on what's going on with Keller Home Loans. So we can say thank you to them for bringing Panera this morning. What's new in you guys' world?
Rates are going down, right?
Oh.
We're seeing some improvements. So we are starting to see government loans floating around upper fives, lower sixes. So we're starting to see some trending, whether it may change or not, we don't know. So roll the dice. But if you're looking at Fannie Mae predictions, right now they're saying 6.1, 6.2 by fourth quarter, fives by in the next year. So other forecasts aren't as good, but still mid sixes, lower sixes. So I think that will give us a little reprieve around what's going on in the market. So I thought today would be important as things that are moving the needle for our agents in multiple aspects. So obviously we've been in here and we presented on Agent Plus, which is where the agents can get licensed as loan officers and start creating additional revenue streams. There's revenue streams on refinance businesses. What do you guys make on refis right now?
Zero.
Zero. Your customers that you've done business with over the last couple of years with higher interest rates refi. Are you going to be in a position to create that additional revenue stream? We have an agent in Illinois that got licensed, 7 deals for 1.4 million first month. Half of them were refis. That was $7,000 of income. We're doing 20 hours to get licensed, take the test, and now you have an additional revenue stream with a 401k, with a full match. So if you're interested in talking more about Agent Plus, we've now fully launched in almost every market center in the Ohio Valley region. So just finished with Sarah Close last week. So she's going to full launch. So this is the way business is gearing over the next couple of years. So if you're not getting on board, Mark King's out doing leadership trainings, that you're missing the boat. So don't miss the boat. Other things that we're helping agents with, listing agents. A lot of times you're not talking to your loan officer. If properties are sitting right now, make sure you're working with your loan officer. Find out what it would take to have a 1 year, 2 year buy down. And you could sit there and talk to your seller and start teeing that up instead of doing a reduction in your price. Why not come out of the gate with a 2-1 or a 1-1 buy down, and you're the hottest house on the market because you've now advertised we're doing that. Now it gets a little iffy. I know you guys can't really put anything as far as buy downs, but we could put flyers together for your open houses to say special financing, ask us about buy down options, and then beforehand that your sellers are going to be willing to help on that. The other thing that we're seeing right now, we have 2 bridge programs. So obviously, a lot of times when we're dealing with getting someone pre-qualified, they can't qualify for both houses, right? And we have a new program that allows them to, on a conventional loan, we can approve it without counting debt from the departing residents if we have a non-contingent contract. So for $2,500, we have a company that will write this non-contingent contract, and I just closed one of these. Allowed us to go ahead and get them in the new house. They can then, once they depart the departing residence, the agent's able to stage it or paint, do whatever, and then get the most out of market value. So this is a very economical way, and it also bridges that gap where they're trying to figure out, I don't want to pay to put my stuff in storage. I don't want to sell my house first. There's a gap. So the second one is a full bridge loan where we'd be able to forward the equity, do the same thing. We don't have to count the departing residents as well. So anybody work with veterans? Okay, so we are one of the few companies that underwrites VA loans correctly. So the VA, on a VA loan, if the departing residents, as long as the veteran will qualify for subsequent use, they have enough entitlement. We do not have to count the debt on the departing residents for veterans. So most VA companies, lending companies don't underwrite to that guideline. So a lot of things that we do make sense. We don't have overlays. A lot of these other companies do. We're doing things up right now to be very market share. So anything you want to add on there today, Justin?
I don't know if this was a bucket though, but I wanted to thank Terry. Last time, a month ago, we talked about reverse mortgages and how to use those for purchases. She found an opportunity client that he did, and we're working with him. It's gonna be a tough, he's a poor guy. He's got a lot going on. But we're working with him, trying to help when we can. So thank you. And yeah.
So, I've just listened to a podcast that was crazy, it was talking about reverse mortgages and stuff, so they made a statistic that 11,000 people a day hit 65 and retire. And so they were talking about like a service, it was on the Millionaire Real Estate podcast, so, just there's so many niches and markets that you can grab and make it yours, like veterans and different things like that, but it just hit me, and I'm thinking, is anybody want to specialize in reverse mortgages or anything like that, partnering up, but it just kind of like, wow, 11,000 people a day turn 65 and retire, or, at that age point of retirement, and I don't know what, it just like, if anybody wanted to like find that niche, it's just like a service area that's not touched, I don't think, in our area, but it was a podcast that kind of went into about that, and just like teaming up with the lender. They were just talking about how, like, if you can partner. So anyway, just a little nugget if anybody went to like service that area, but I'm sure you see the benefits and probably can get information with you on reverse mortgages. So I'm just glad to hear it triggered that podcast.
That's a great point. I think baby boomers, right? And
Yeah.
it's gonna get hot more and more.
Yeah.
So it's.
So
great.
anyway, it was just
And then-
interesting.
This guy felt like, I mean, and maybe, maybe it won't pan out, but like, cause he's kind of backed himself into a little bit of a corner, but like he felt like he didn't have any options. He was so emotional and he had a bunch of stuff going on. So thank you.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, he does. But,
But that's what we're here for, is to help everybody. I mean, we're the professionals to give them solutions, it's, yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Solutions.
The baby boomers are afraid of the reverse mortgage because years ago, it wasn't handled right. A lot of misinformation out there. So we even rebranded it as the lifestyle home loan because people are able to buy a home with a down payment and never have to have a mortgage payment, right? So, and then we have a proprietary product as well that will allow them to have access to other equity within their property. So it's a proprietary product that Mutual of Omaha, our mothership, launched out. So we're kind of changing the industry in a lot of different ways right now. But yeah, that would be a great one for everybody to, we can even work on with our reverse team, having them come down and do a class.
Yeah.
If we would have enough interest, we would be happy to do that and really get you guys to dive into that a little deeper and really understand the intricacies of it. It's a great program. I've been talking to my parents about it, so it's real. Like, hey, you want to retire and you want to have a lifestyle, but you don't allow you want to retire. You got a mortgage payment still. You don't have to have it on. You got that equity. A lot of our baby boomers have that equity. So yeah, let's do it.
Okay, thank you. How many of you would be interested in the reverse mortgage? Like you've come to the whole thing to understand.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, just because again, it triggered my mind. I'm like, but I'm like, I don't know nothing about it. So yeah, thanks for bringing it up.
Yep,
Thank
we'll do
you.
that.
Well, then we'll get that on the schedule.
Yeah, we'll do that.
This seems important, like where, yeah, I love it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Jenny, come on. Jenny's in the hot seat. So we're just switching teams up and kind of, have a seat. We're gonna do just agent interviews. So, because I think we can all learn from each other. And here's why I asked Jenny to do this today, because every time I see her, she is lead generating in some random way. There is never a time that she's not asking people for business or she is creating deals out of something, right? Like she just has grit. She's got grit and I appreciate that so much.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, that's okay too, right? There's all different ways to get the job done, so I just wanted to pick her brain, and hopefully it sparks some interest for you guys in different ways that you too. Maybe you don't love phone calls, and there's some different, it doesn't have to always be phone calls, right? A lot of people don't like that, so there's different things that we can do. Okay, so first I want to start with, how long have you been in the business?
I got licensed in July of 21 in Indiana and March of 22 for Kentucky.
Okay, so a shorter amount of time. And you have been a solo agent, because I think you spent some time on
I
teams.
was bounced on and off team.
Okay, so we just gotta figure things out sometimes, right?
Right.
And so you've been an individual agent for how long?
How do you? Yeah, I quit AGL the same day Amy came back, coincidentally. But-
Okay,
And so I've been solo since then, so maybe just under a year.
I love it. What are some of the things that you do consistently to generate business?
I focus a lot on my Medicare clients because I have all kind of information about them. Many of them are in homes that are deteriorating or they just can't manage them anymore. So I talk to them about.
Because you're an insurance.
Because you were in insurance first.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so now you're servicing some of those clients.
Yeah, when I go to review their insurance, I show up with a CMA. Just to, I use RPR. I know a lot of people don't, but I like the reports. They're pretty. And I bring them and I just tell them, look, did you have any idea this is what your house is worth? And the first one I really did was a year ago when I did my own sunshine. 6 kids, working class family, never had anything, never went on vacation, 85 years old, couldn't pay for their supplements. So I was over there a lot. And finally I said, do you have any idea of this house? So long story short, I listed the house, we sold it twice. And under 24 hours, first one came out of contract. They netted about $144,000. Got into an apartment and Mama Loretta, as I call her, because I put them into Medicare stuff. Got to take a cruise and enjoy her life. She passed away 2 weeks ago. But I don't know. To me, it broke my heart for years. Going when I was doing Medicare, my family, I'd see their biggest asset falling apart, leaves in the gutters. The grass is not kept. They can't do it, and so I think that a lot of them are not aware of how much money they have sitting. And I just told them, look, you raised 6 kids. Your kids are fine. This is your time. And in their case, because of their age, I didn't push selling the house. We looked at a few condos and it didn't make sense to me for them to buy something. They when their Social Security could cover rent of a nice apartment and they had all that money sit there. So anyway, yeah, I concentrate on my Medicare clients, being outraged and get rid of that's also Medicare client. So what I did is I teamed up with my mortgage broker, had to make up these fun little flyers for me, talking about rent versus own, and now I'm door knocking in Fulton County at renters, trying to convert them to buyers.
What is that convert? This was one of the things I loved, that you were door knocking the apartments. What does that conversation look like?
I just introduced myself and I already know when I go in there what they're paying for rent roughly. And I just talked to, have you ever thought about buying a house? And most of years, I don't think I have to go to the credit. I've got, 650 credit score. And I'm like, I can get you a mortgage at like 580. Why don't we take a look? Why are you paying $1,800 a month when you can be in a house? So, and I don't mind door knocking. I know some people do. I'd rather door knock than make cold calls any day because I like to talk to people face to face, and it's harder for me to be mean to you. So, So there's that. And then the other thing I have been doing is I finished up my church. I set personal notes out to every single family in my church. I do like 10 or 15 a week. Now I'm hitting my old neighborhood in Louisville where I lived 12 years. What I do is I go on RPR, I look up to see that it's still the same people. If it's new people, I figure out how long they go in my house, whether or not I'm gonna contact them. But then I have a little flyer I make and, just send it to them and then I'll follow it up with a phone call and try to get in. I'm also working on converting, I hate to say rejected renters, but the things that I'm renting out from Derek, the renters that don't get it, I take a good look and see if I think they can be buyers. So I have one, he's gonna rent for a year. They're good buyers, but we don't want to rush. This is a forever home. So they're gonna rent for now, but I've already converted them to a buyer. I have another one I'm about to call that I think is a buyer. And I mean, I do everything. I make magnets out of my business card. I get the gas stations. I'll talk to them and get them to let me put my magnets out and people will take my magnets. And I may or may not ever do anything off that. But what I found over the years in insurance is that we used to joke it was a 6-month turnaround on business cards because you have time to lose them, find them again. So I do magnets. People stick magnets on their fridge. They don't throw them away. And I know from my experience, okay, I need an electrician. Who do I have in my fridge? I mean, they're gonna see my name every day. People come over, are gonna see my name and my picture on their fridge. You can go to Staples and get 100 of those little business card magnets, stick your card to like $35. So it's pretty cheap. And I also go anywhere I go, like I'll go out to like Malone's after work because people go there after work and they have money and just like walk up and talk to them.
I know you always are engaging, what I notice about you is you're always engaging people in conversation.
Yeah.
Like you're not shy.
I ask
about that.
everybody, it's really probably annoying to people around me, but I'd be in the elevator when I was at Louisville and someone had come on from a different floor and I kept. So, I actually, one of the first things I did is so stupid. It was on Halloween. I dressed up as a Care Bear and I went to Derby City Gaming and gave out candy and business cards to like everybody. Made friends with everybody in the high roller suite, all the hosts, all the slot people. I know about what they make, and I know everybody there, and they give out my cards for me.
And are you seeing a return on that? So you go and you do that, right? And then
I've gotten a couple things off of it. The other thing that I'm doing, and that is what I mostly been selling this year, is I've really gone back to my investors. I have one I sold in the house at 22. I sold them 3 properties this year. We just got clear close on the third one. All cash deals. So even though they're small, they add up. Because I've done 3 deals, but one was 50,000 and the last 2 been 15,500. So I charge him a flat rate, but now he sent me his brother, and I'm supposed to hear from a cousin, so I'm just trying to work like anything I can.
so with it, like approaching these people, right? I mean, the perception, one of the reasons people don't do that is because we're scared we're gonna be annoying to people and all the things. Okay, so out of 10 people that you would approach, how many of them are not receptive to you?
1 or 2, maybe.
Maybe.
But most people, I really want to make probably get people to listen to me.
That's what I figured.
And
It's in our head for the most part.
you'd be amazed, and I learned this when I started medicine, you'd be amazed what people will share with you. If you just ask. The other thing that I've taken from insurance too is, you can kind of tell somebody's financial situation by kind of looking around their house. Particularly with the seniors, if I want to know if they have any money, I'll ask them if they still file taxes. Because if they do, they've got money. I mean, just literally anything. I talk to everybody. I always joke, but it's actually true. If it makes you nervous at a door knock, if you take
Oh my gosh.
Take
We're not-
the-
Okay, and then the other thing that you do is you are willing to be a showing agent.
Yes. Yeah, oh yeah, anybody, I do, at least one open house a week. I was doing them every Tuesday for Lisa, Lander Delap. We've stopped those, but I'm still marketing the properties. I've done some for you. I actually, Derek Elbert, if he has overflow, I will do showings for him. We've done showings for Alicia Hall, who is no longer with Keller, but I still partner up with her, because she's really good listings. So I like to do her open houses. And I've got 2 or 3 buyers I've picked off of those, so,
Why are you willing to be a showing agent for somebody?
because I want to pick up buyers. And even if I'm just showing their client, I mean, I just tell them, hey, we work together, blah, 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 if you have any other, I ask for referrals. I mean, I don't feel like I'm really stepping on toes there. I just tell them, what, so-and-so is great, or, whatever, I'm also an agent, so, we all work together. If we have anyone else, I don't get too specific about it because I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but, yeah, I try to leverage it to get friends and family sent to me. And like,
Because the fact of the matter is, a lot of agents don't follow up with their own people.
That's
yeah, yeah. And I've been the victim of that too, because I sat and watched a guy, Nick Winford, who, when I was working with Rachel, we sold and bought and sold a house with him. And I noticed that he had put one of his rentals up for sale, and I called Rachel, and we tried to get hold of him, and then I just noticed the house that I sold him, he just resold. And that kind of kills me because we have a good relationship. I'm actually a little sad he didn't call me because I actually did keep in touch, but it is what it is. I don't really have like, family that's gonna send me business and things like that, so I just have to be creative. And but I just talk to everybody everywhere. I did learn another good place is if you go to senior day at Kroger, all the men will be sitting like, in front of the store.
Love that.
And they used to joke at my insurance brokers that I stalk seniors on senior day, which isn't really untrue. But I just go talk to them, hey, what are you doing? How long you been in your house? 40 years, really? Wow. That's amazing. Bet you have a lot of equity in that. I don't know, people will talk to you. They, especially seniors, they love to talk. And they're also very cheap leads. I should say this, you can get 1,000 names of in any zip code of seniors turning 65 for about $100. And I will just call them. And anybody I get new entering Medicare, one of the big things I talk to them about is, now's the time to start planning. Are you going to stay here? Blah, blah, blah. I talk to them a little bit about putting things in trust because that protects their assets. If God forbid they go in a nursing home, and just kind of work the whole like, this is your retirement. What do you want it to look like? And try to help them with their situation.
What questions do you guys have?
I don't know. I feel silly because I know there's like everybody in here is super successful, and like I said, I'm doing ordeal. I'm big dog.
Considered senior day at Kroger. That's probably not your Legion plan, so.
Yeah, they're
Did you guys have any
usually
questions?
I'm too hungry to see.
You have your license in Kentucky, Indiana.
Yeah, both insurance and real estate. And eventually I plan to license of Florida as well. The other thing to do is I have gotten really involved in referral networks. So like I had the Wisconsin person that was a referral from an agent in Wisconsin that I had hooked up with on Facebook, and it was like 20 different Keller Williams referral groups if you look for them. And I'm in all those. I'm in all the investor groups. If I come across a property that I think obviously someone lives there, but I think they might want to sell it, I'll just go in the door. My new thing is I am starting to call expired, and I've always called them for sale by owners, and I've sold one. Just like anything, I don't care.
Yeah, well, I understand. Like, you really are willing to do whatever it takes. You talk to anybody, anywhere. And I really view everything as an opportunity, even when we were at the track. When I walked in, I was like, who are you talking to?
Yeah, I
You
think it's
said,
30.
is a total stranger
Yeah.
that you talked to about selling his home, and then at the end of the day, you were going to meet him, I think, right?
Yes. Yeah,
To tell people you're in real estate, that's what we're saying.
yeah,
It
yeah,
works.
yeah, I know.
One of my favorite expression for a she probably wears a shirt that says, I'm a realtor, ask me a question all the time.
Oh, yeah, and realtor on duty.
Realtor, on the-
Yeah. Yeah, if you go to Etsy, you can get all kinds of fun stuff. But you wouldn't believe how many people, when I wear that realtor on duty sweatshirt, how many people will stop me and talk to me. I have another shirt that says, it's me, I'm the realtor. And I don't know, I wear my Keller shirts whenever I can. And I've got stickers on my car. I've had people stop me at gas stations saying, oh, you're an agent, blah, blah, blah. So, I've tried to forge relationships with other agents, even in other brokerages, to work back and forth, particularly if they're not licensed in most states. I know they have people that may be licensed in Indiana, but that doesn't mean they're definitely going to send that referral to them. I mean, I can be very generous in my referral if I need to be. Well,
I love it.
I just like, I don't have anyone to depend on but me. And unfortunately, my divorce settlement won't last forever. So I gotta make money, and I like to stay in hotels.
I love it. Yep.
No, that's pretty much it. I'm starting to see my nurtures come back around. I've got one under contract. I started working with a year ago, when I was still Louisville. And, like I said, starting to follow up a little bit more. I'm calling old leads that I have stuck, that kind of went dead on me, and I'm starting to call them. Some of those, were referrals, and I have noted that, so that if I do something, I still will pay out a referral to them. Because that's like, I have a lot of Rachel Dryer leads, a lot. And I mean, that's about it. I think that if I'm fair and honest with other agents, they'll do that with me, and we can always work together. And yeah, any chance I get, any agent that calls me, a key aware is another one. You know, there have been months where it's been so thin for me. If it weren't for some of the paid showing I do, I would have really struggled. So I'm really thankful for everyone that's helped me. And I can tell you, since the day I walked in this place, particularly Amy and Derek and Brian Hazley. I mean, I'm constantly asking questions, and they've not got annoyed with me. And everybody's been helpful. And I mean, even when I first started, I didn't even know how to write a contract, and I had to write a contract. And I think Amy was out of town, and I called Ethan, and he couldn't help me, and I called Shannon Benito. She wrote the contract for me, 'cause I didn't know what to do. And just everybody's been super helpful and great, and that is why, even though I have been recruited and for a tiny amount, I went to law, that was with a team, and then I was totally about houses for a week. But I keep coming back because
KW culture.
yeah,
There's nothing like it.
yeah, and
Truly.
and I really cannot, send them, and they've been bugging me for years. But I just don't really have any desire to go anywhere else. I think that I'm the best place that I can be. And my goal right now is just I want to build up my business any way I can, and I really enjoy it. I think you can see that. So,
So if one of these agents have never done door knocking before and they wanted to come shadow you, are you open to that?
Sure. It's more fun when you do it in pairs.
Okay, so there you go, you guys.
Yeah.
Drum up.
And I did that online. I did that online. After I sold it, I made a flyer saying it was sold in 24 hours, and I hit the rest of that night.
That's perfect.
So, because a lot of them
Thank you.
have streamed in there since 1950.
Right,
I'm not kidding.
okay. So again, here's the, yeah, that population. Thank you, lady. Thank you. You guys, I just wanted to go over this quickly because this came up in, a couple weeks ago. So what does the MRE say about listing? Because it really focused more on listing. Because if marketed properly, what should happen? Listings bring a buyer, right? We don't really have to look for buyers because if we're doing it properly, it just brings the buyer. And especially, you guys, were in the market for so long that it went up for sale and you have contracts of 2 hours and, right, doesn't have time to really get the exposure. But now that it's settled a little bit, these are the things in the plan that are going to help bring in your buyers. So how many of you are still doing flyers? I bet there's one within 24 hours too. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Why do some of you opt out? I figured it's just technology because everything is, they can get it online. Flyers kind of came into play right before everything was accessible. So for those of you that do the flyers, why do you do the flyers? I did these. The difference of a loan to what they're paying in rent. Yeah. What are some
And you put it out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Any other reasons you guys still do flyers?
Yeah, there's people that usually, especially I put it on a box inside the house. But some people doesn't get it at house, they just drive by, they are curious about it, but they don't get it. So they put the information in that, they, so they can go to the house where they can pull, ask for the information.
Yeah, and I would say kind of like what you said about the business card, like it's a 6 month turnaround, like maybe it just gets folded up and put into the door panel of the car right then, but then they're exposed to you again. Like same top of mind is everything, right? So I would, yeah, I don't know. I think that one can be
When
good.
when I was a buyer, I actively took those, because I never went to an agent until I was pretty sure what I wanted to look at,
Yeah.
so, I would drive around neighborhoods and pick up.
I would still take a flyer too, because I'm visual. I'm not gonna remember all the ones I drove by, and I want to, so I would collect the things to keep it in front of me, right? So, are you guys familiar with this now that you've seen it? Do you know? You've seen this before? Okay. So if you are not picking up buyers from your listing, I will go revisit this and say, okay, which ones am I doing? What could I implement? And maybe even like open house program. If we're just throwing it up, right, at the last minute, it's not gonna get the same return. So we can just examine what we're already doing. It doesn't always have to be about adding something new. We can just develop things to a deeper level. Does that make sense? Okay, I love it. Any questions around that? All right. You guys, this is called the Growth Games. It's July. It's the 1st of July, and we have been entered into a competition with our fellow market centers. Okay, so here's what's happening. We all know that Keller is based on agent numbers, right? And our market centers, like we're ready. Like we've laid the foundation, things are getting settled, and we're really ready to go. So Tara actually has challenged us. So we are in competition with Cincinnati.
Partners.
What?
Are we partnered together? No.
No. No, we are competing against Cincinnati and Louisville. Okay, market centers. So the core group, Tara's core offices, Louisville doesn't, or Lexington doesn't have a team leader right now, and general manager Kelly is handling that job right now. So we're in competition against these other offices, and there's $1,000 leadership prize for the office that grows the most in July. And this is according to percentages. So where Cincinnati is a way bigger space, right? They have to hit way bigger numbers. So this is by percentage. And here's basically what it is. The leadership team could have just kept $1,000, right? And said, okay, we're gonna nail it and do something really nice for ourselves, but we're gonna put, I need to revisit this with the leadership team. Right now, I think we're $500 to the office for whatever you guys would want. Something fun if you help us win this competition. This means we add more agents than the other offices in the month of July. It's really that simple. So is everybody with me? Why would we want to grow as an office?
Profit share.
What else?
Makes it more fun if there's more people here.
It's more energy. More energy.
More
For
deals,
sure.
more deals back and forth, more hallway sales happening.
Yes. What else? It's more resources for you too, right? Like the bigger we get, the more we get to provide, basically. And so many of us were here when we were a much larger office. It's a completely different feeling, right? And there's more staff, there's just more of everything. Because we're a capped model company, and we're never gonna collect more than tops the $20,000 from an agent in a year, right? That means that we have to have more of that. So it's time, and I'm excited. And so this is, you can scan this right here. Where is this gonna take them to, Ally? I love it. So this is gonna be a win-win, right? Because we're gonna keep track of who sent the referrals, and this grows your profit share, passive income, and it helps the office grow as well.
Who should everybody be targeting? How should
Yeah,
they start?
so
Who to send to you?
here's what I want to say about this, is that a couple of things, quite honestly. Agent attraction, okay? We don't want every agent. We want amazing agents. We don't need them all, right? We want agents that are fun to work with, that are gonna do the right thing and share the culture, really, of KW. So I just want to kind of go over the way it works and just probably best practices. Anytime you can loop me in to a text message, right, with the agent, that's just a really warm way for me to connect and to set up coffee or whatever it is. So it might look like something like this, right? And I would say just relationship first, like let's keep the agent in mind, because I'm not when we say do whatever it takes, like that for me has boundaries, right? Like we're gonna do it with the right people in mind, and we're gonna honor who they are first, and keep them in comfortable situations. So no pressure, no expectation in the text message. It's just real simple. Hey, I thought this maybe could help you with this, or I thought this might be somebody good for you to know. It's just that simple. And then I'll hop in and just say, oh my gosh, so great to meet you. I'd love to meet you for coffee or whatever that is. Does that seem simple enough?
Are you willing to talk to agents who are newly licensed?
Always.
Or just certain level one?
For us to win this competition, they have to have a license, right? So when we talk about agent growth, we I mean, we help people from start to finish, right? That's why we do career night, because we want to help them at any stage, because I 100% believe to the core of who I am, that they are better with us from the very
It was
beginning.
just before, like if it was a level 0 or 1, it went to
Oh,
a
sure,
certain
yeah,
person. And
yeah.
then 1 or 2.
No,
and then-
I'll handle all of that, for sure, yeah.
I think something that we heard yesterday is that, the stat that, I'm just repeating what I heard. Agents that have been in the business for 5 years, nationally, 75% of those agents who've been in business for 5 years have not sold a house this year. In the last 6 months.
There's 1,200 agents, or there's 1,200 members in Cyrus, so some of those are gonna be vendors, okay? 700 and how many, Amy? Have not done a deal?
Yeah, that I took out, I'm like 540, I think, by taking. out
Yes, once you take out the vendors and duplicate, over 500 agents have not put any production
Almost 50%.
this year.
I'm about to launch like our recruiting stuff, and not everyone who comes in is gonna be a match for our team, but I'm happy to pass. that
Yeah, that's
on.
perfect. That's perfect.
Also, if we get the agent plus thing, like as a paragraph, because I think that would be a good.
I think so too.
Strategy to send out
Yeah.
as well.
Ralph. Ralph is looking for, if you guys weren't here before, Ralph was, a seller that was happy stuff, okay?
Brian, this is your goal.
He showed up to recruit me.
So, yeah, so if you don't know, I called Ralph because he had some things to say on Google. And so I called him, and after spending about an hour on the phone with Ralph, he ended up at career night that following Monday, okay? So Ralph and I are buddies. He's called me no less than 3 times since career night, and Amy has talked to him at least once, and he's called her several times. So we've got a new buddy in Ralph. He is all in, but he is looking for the in-person class, and that only gets offered twice a year. Because I don't think anybody will be surprised to learn that Ralph doesn't really text or do the internet. So this is gonna.
Some people you need to send the call sooner. All in second.
Don't like how this just happened. Okay. Yes, Ally.
Over so we can take.
I'm so sorry, yeah. Did you have something else?
I also just remind everyone to always keep a lookout for the CE shop discounts, because utilize that. It's a good conversation to have with, your kids' friends, or like people that are upcoming that are struggling with what they want to do in a career. That is a good piece to be like, hey, we've got, like we just did, a 50% off for getting licensing. And I mean, we've had 2 or 3 people join just.
And here's what happens when they use our CE link, is that we can track their progress. So if they sign up for 90 hours, which is a newer partnership that we're just really understanding. And let's say Mary tells me that she wants to be done with this class by September 1st, then I can just go, we have admin, right? I can go in and see, is she halfway done? Is she a quarter of the way done? She said September 1st. I'm not putting dates in anybody's head, right? I respect that people know where they want to be when they want to be it. I'm not trying to push them any faster. But if you tell me that date and I see it's August 15th and we're only a quarter of the way, well, then we got a lot to do. I'll be like, hey, Mary, just want to check in on you. How are you doing? Is there anything that we can help you with? Do you want to do some more accountability? Who knows what's happened in her world? Something bigger may have happened. We're pushing the date back or whatever it is. But it really is just a layer of accountability, because that class is boring. Okay, it's real boring. 90 hours. I did 56 in person. I did not love it. Okay, so you can imagine 90 hours online. it's just some it allows us to do some check-ins because people do want to get their license and also life is just happening around them. It's really hard to stay in it, okay? So yes, use that link. Okay, and here's the other thing. I just want you guys to kind of get an idea. I'm just gonna tell you real quickly about when I go on an appointment with an agent that is not in our office. I do not mention Keller Williams. Period. Ever in the first appointment. Maybe not even the second appointment. That is not what I'm doing. My job is to help people get to where they want to be. That's how I do it. And I know that if I do that from just a genuine place of coming from contribution, that everything always works out in the end, right? And sometimes it's gonna work out instantly. And sometimes they're gonna walk in our office 2 years later and say, Misty, I have to make a change today. I want to move my license here. And I've had that happen with huge agents, right? So what I'm asking of you is that you just connect me with the people. I will do the heavy lifting, right? And if you see people in the office that are not agents of ours yet, here's what we don't want to do. Are you moving here? I hope you're gonna be my next door neighbor, like all of that. Just take the pressure off. People don't want to come in and feel that. Are you signing on to code? None of that. Like I don't do. One of the ways I got appointed a lot last time was I would put $100 down on the table. I promise you, if I mention the word Keller Williams, you can just take the $100 bill. I can take all the pressure off because what happens every single time is they will ask me about it. I don't need to say anything because they're going to ask me. What I'm trying to understand is where are they? Where do they want to be? Where is the gap? And are we the people that can help move them to the space they really want to be in life? It's just that simple, right? So we are looking at all production because we have 500 people out here who have done 0 deals. 0. So they are in second jobs or third jobs or whatever. And if they don't get into production, they're going to get their license up. And while today's a tougher market, you'll know what a good market looks like. And this changes lives. Like I just fully believe that. Any questions about that or how I have conversations with other agents? Okay. Okay, I love it. What would you guys want as a surprise? When we win this, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna celebrate?
With margaritas.
You want a taco truck
With margaritas.
with margaritas?
I know first.
Okay. What'd you say?
What's the like Puritan thing that makes your drink?
Artesian.
You like, it like literally will make like a mimosa or a drink or whatever. Just
I
like
don't even know that
like
existed.
here.
They are dangerous. My brother brought us on vacation. You pick strong, you can't taste the liquor in it.
I was thinking that'd be fun.
It's
You have
fantastic.
drunk realtors all day long.
It's a lot of-
What shit?
She's got one of the drink maker things. She said, no, that's on my wish list. Somebody wants to go ahead and get that for me. Okay, so I'm here to talk with margaritas, video, 50 coffee machine. Any other ideas? Okay, we'll keep it up. We're gonna keep it up. At a minimum, 6 is the standard. Okay, I got a lot. I haven't been seeing that. I am saying, it just so happens. because this test is the same, the Amy Kramer course is really helping people get through a lot faster. Okay, one more thing on, the note of fun, if you haven't done musical bingo at the parlor at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, this is a good time. And I'm not making this an official KW culture event because I can't be there every single time. I'm not asking any of that. I will say, maybe we don't want to break your faces. How does it hurt? I think of it. Yeah. Wednesday is 7. You might ask. Wednesday is the parlor. And Joe, it is kid friendly. Very kid. Yeah. Bring your kids, bring your people, bring your dogs. It's really good. It's Amy actually knows the name of every song ever created. So, and then they tell you what song you can get. So, like, they play 30 seconds. Which is, generally, they're fun songs. Everybody. Oh, did we get logged out? And I got doggers. Yeah. If you have a dogger, it's way more fun. Amy does seem to have, but yeah, I would grab one of those. Okay, you guys, what listing, before we part ways, who has a listing that they want to debut here? Mine that I want to talk about are not live yet, but I'm gonna have a 247.5 3-bedroom 2-bath in Kentucky in 40228 on Bannon Crawford Drive. It's gonna go live after the 4th of July next week. Bannon. Bannon. Yeah. Bannon Crawford. Weird. 3-bedroom 2-bath on this last. Coolest garage I think I've ever seen. It's 2-car garage with like another whole room. And so they got their whole CrossFit gym set up in there. So it's probably gonna go quick. It's a cute little neighborhood. And then I'm revisiting today my lodge with the guidelines. So if you have somebody that has dollars to hang around, build their house. Bring your buyers, people. Bring your buyers. We're open to $1 million. Okay, I'm here for that. David, what's the one that you have?
5-bedroom 2-bath on Reese Lane. What's the address? 12225 Reese Lane. It is 265. They are motivated. 5-bedroom. I think it's a 30 by 30 garage. It's all spray foam installation.
Any water issues in the basement?
None.
Awesome. You have to ask that in our payment. Basement finished.
Basement is finished.
I almost back there. Big dogs, car.
They do have 2 big ones. It does not.
Okay.
Love it.
Was there, I mean, I saw that it was a big dog.
265.
Yeah.
That's a good price.
Okay.
They are motivated.
I like it. Anybody else?
I got one next week in Lanesville.
Okay, what do you got,
It
Ange?
is 4-bedroom, 3-bath, about 2,600 square feet, 2.5 acre, or 2.36 acres. It's between Corden and Lanesville, so it's Lanesville address, but Floyd County. And we'll list it probably 469, maybe 469, live next week.
I love it. Okay. All right, you guys, 11 o'clock, Andy's teaching contract with court, so that happening right now, stick around for that. And then there's a mastermind for all agents right after that from 12 to 1, okay? Thank you all. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Oh.